Laker fan, before we get into today's video, I want to hear from you. I want to know, who is your favorite Laker player ever? For me personally, it's gotta be Mr. Kobe Bean Bryant. And then of course, who do you think is the greatest Laker player ever? Again, I may be a little bit biased here, but again, I'm going to be going with the Black Mamba, Mr. Kobe Bryant. And then finally, who is your favorite Lakers team? For me personally, I have to go with that 2009-2010 squad. We had Kobe Bryant at his prime. We got Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, Metta World Peace. They won back-to-back titles in 2009-2010. That was really the team that made me full-blown obsessed with not only basketball, but of course our purple and gold. But do me a favor, these are going to be the pinned comments down below, so let me know again who your favorite Laker player is, who the greatest Laker player is, and then who your favorite Lakers team was. But moving on, let's get into today's video because we've got an awesome video coming up for you guys right now. What's up, Laker fam? Welcome to Lakers Report by Chat Sports, all things Lakers. I'm your host, Hannah Kulik, aka Laker Han. We've got an awesome show for you guys, so I just want to get right into it. But before we do, I want to make sure that you guys are hitting that subscribe button down below. Come and join this Lakers Report family. And of course, while you're at it, go ahead and give me a follow on my Instagram and my Twitter to keep up with all things purple and gold. And also, if you want some fitness tips and tricks, you know I love to post all my workout videos and fitness tips and tricks as well on my social media handles. So go ahead and subscribe and give me a follow on all my social medias. But let's move on and let's get into our first storyline to hear today, because does LeBron James actually have the best work ethic in the entire NBA? Well, according to Lance Stephenson, he does. Now, Lance did an IG Live with The Score in which he went on to say that LeBron had the best work ethic out of anyone he'd ever seen. He said, you know, he was first in the gym, he was first to every meetings, first on the plane, he was just first in every single way possible, and that was why all of his teammates respected him, because he put in the work. And just seeing that from him firsthand when he played with the Lakers is something that really kind of just changed his mindset, really changed the way he viewed basketball and being a professional athlete. And obviously this is really nice to hear coming from a guy from Lance Stephenson, because we all know those two have had a little bit of a rivalry in the past. Now obviously that was squashed when Lance came and joined the Lakers last year and played with LeBron James, so obviously those two, you know, have a good relationship now. But it's always nice to hear Lance kind of compliment LeBron, anyone just kind of compliment LeBron, because as we all know, earlier on this year, Mr. Clint Parks definitely didn't feel that LeBron James had a good work ethic, which I at the time thought was completely crazy, because for me personally, when you're looking at a guy like LeBron James and you see someone who's going to be going down as probably, if not the best basketball player ever, then one of the top basketball players to ever play the game, you're thinking he probably has a pretty darn good work ethic. So of course, nice to hear from Lance Stephenson himself, just with everything that has to do with him and LeBron, that LeBron was a great teammate and has an incredible work ethic, the best work ethic in the entire NBA. Now, before we move on to our next story, I just gotta know, you guys, how much do you miss basketball in our Los Angeles Lakers? From 1 to 10, what's your score here? I gotta go with 12 out of 10, you guys. I know that's technically not in this category, but 12 out of 10, I am missing our Los Angeles Lakers and I am missing basketball in general. But I do have an exciting update for you guys regarding the season, because it actually may be returning much sooner than we all originally thought. But of course, stay tuned, because I'm going to be discussing that a little bit later on in this video. But moving on, let's talk about our next storyline here. Now, there was an article that came out with Lake Show Life talking about 3 potential landing spots for Anthony Davis this summer that I thought was absolutely crazy. So, of course, I want to discuss them with you. But before we talk about that, I want to let you guys know an awesome deal that we are having with one of our sponsors here, Fanatics. So even though the Lakers are not yet playing, although they may be very soon, make sure to stay tuned, you can still rock all things purple and gold. And we are having an awesome sale for you guys going on right now. So real quick, we've got this really cool LeBron James 23 t-shirt. It is going for 25% off right now. If you'd like this, all you have to do is go to chatsports.com/LeBron23. And just in general, if you want to rock all things purple and gold, we are having sales up to 50% off all of our Lakers gear here. So all you have to do is go to chatsports.com/Lakers to be able to rock all things purple and gold and be all ready to rep our team, not only during this quarantine, but of course, once they return and the NBA returns back very shortly. But let's move on because we have to discuss these 3 potential landing spots, or potential landing spots. I really should use a lot of air quotes with that because I thought these were absolutely crazy. So like I said, Lakeshore Life came up with these 3 potential landing spots for Anthony Davis where he could end up potentially if, of course, he doesn't re-sign with the Lakers this summer. Now, first of all, I just want to go on record and say I would be pretty darn shocked if Anthony Davis does not re-sign with the Los Angeles Lakers. I think he's wanted to be a Laker for forever. He finally got a chance to do so. We were having such an amazing season. He's the face of this franchise. I don't really see why he wouldn't want to come back and re-sign with us. But just in case, if he didn't, here are 3 potential landing spots according to Lakeshore Life where AD could potentially end up. Starting with number 3 on their list, they have the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, they are saying that Portland may be silent killers this offseason because, yes, as of right now, they only have about maybe $14 million in cap space, but if they get rid of a few players, they will be able to have $50 million in cap space, which will, of course, give them plenty of money to go sign AD and then also have some leeway to be able to sign some more talented kind of role players for this team. So they're saying that offering AD, a chance to come and play with Damian Lillard, who I will agree, in my opinion, is probably one of the best players in the NBA. And then, of course, CJ McCollum, plus having some extra cap space to be able to go out and fill the team with some talented role players could entice AD. Now, personally, I don't think that's going to be enough, but this was one of the options that they thought could potentially be an interesting landing spot for AD this summer. Now, moving on to number 2, they have the Memphis Grizzlies. I personally thought this one was absolutely crazy. There is no way AD is going to Memphis, but here's what they had to say. Here's a couple of reasons why they thought maybe AD in Memphis could potentially work out. Now, Memphis is going to have $50 million or upwards this summer to go out and sign a star, and they may do it now or they may wait till 2021, but if AD for some reason decides to express some interest in the Grizzlies, and they definitely will want to take that leap with him. Now, Memphis also has a very young, talented team. They have John Morant. They've got a couple of other young guys. They're definitely a young, up-and-coming team. Personally, I don't think there is any way AD is going to Memphis, but they do, when you're looking at this team, have a ton of cap space, a ton of money to go out and sign a superstar for that max spot. And then, of course, they do have a talented young team, and AD is still a young guy. He's only 26 years old. So, pairing him up with some of the young up-and-coming players in the league could definitely be an interesting idea for AD, which is what they are arguing. But personally, don't think it's going to happen. Now, their third and final choice that they are kind of talking about here, they have the Atlanta Hawks. Now, when you look at the Atlanta Hawks and their upcoming summer, they have $60 million to go out and spend this summer. That's crazy. So they've definitely got enough money to go out and try to pursue Anthony Davis. Now, when you look at the Atlanta Hawks roster, they've also got some very talented young players. They have Trae Young. They've got some other young, talented pieces surrounding him. So, a lot of people are saying, and Lakeshore Life is definitely arguing that, you put AD, mix him with Trae Young, mix him with some of the young up-and-coming pieces, that you still have enough money to go out and sign another player, maybe like a DeMar DeRozan. That's definitely a very strong, talented team that could definitely contend. But of course, for me personally, and they even admit in this article, any kind of notion that AD is going to leave the Los Angeles Lakers and go to the Hawks is still just a pipe dream for Hawks fans. But still, these are 3 teams that if for some reason AD decides to kind of test the waters this free agency and not sign with the Los Angeles Lakers, that he could potentially be interested in. Again, I do want to reiterate that I just think AD is going to just sign an extension with LA. Now, whether or not that is a 2-year deal with that 3rd year kind of being a player option, or if he's just going to sign a long-term, long contract, I don't know. But still, AD is a Laker, here to stay for the future, guys. I have no concerns about that at all. But I want to hear from you guys. Do you agree with me? Do you think AD is going to be a Laker next season? If you do, type Y down below. If not, type N down below. Now for the moment you guys have all been waiting for. Could the NBA actually be making a return much sooner than we originally thought? Well, Danny Green did his podcast Inside the Green Room, and he gave us a very optimistic update regarding the NBA season and its return. He was talking to NBA execs regarding the kind of return of the season, and here's what he actually had to say. He was saying that you know, players are assuming and they are all very confident that the NBA will return. And he actually kind of went so far as to say is mid-May could be when we're seeing the NBA return. Kind of playing mid-May to early June is when he kind of gave the timeline of finishing up the regular season. Then, of course, the playoffs would start kind of end of June, July. Then by August and September, we would have the NBA Finals, and then the NBA season for next year would start Christmas Day. Now, I know a lot of people are kind of throwing out the notions to how this whole thing would work if the NBA were to return, and that kind of seems like a realistic timeline for me personally. And I'm definitely keeping my fingers crossed because, as we all know, if the NBA does not return, it'll be extremely disappointing for us Laker fans because the Lakers were well on their way to winning that NBA championship. So let's just keep our fingers crossed that hopefully Danny Green is right and mid-May is when the NBA will return, because that's honestly much sooner than most of us could have respected, and honestly it'll go by super quick. We are already in mid-April here, so hopefully mid-May NBA and our Los Angeles Lakers will return. Now, moving on to our final story here today. It's an interesting notion and an interesting quote by Jared Dudley talking about how he believes that the Lakers' best chance to win the NBA championship was this season. Now, is Jared Dudley right? We're going to discuss that, but before we do, friendly reminder, have you guys washed your hands today? If you have, which I definitely hope you have, then type W down below. I know for me personally, I've been washing my hands all day, so I would type a bunch of W's down below in the comments, but let me know down below. Make sure to wash your hands, and if you have not yet done so, please go ahead and do so. So Jared Dudley, now he's never one to kind of shy away from expressing his opinions and beliefs and kind of sharing what's on his mind, and his recent thing he said was that the Lakers' best chance to win the NBA championship was this year. He said, listen, it was all set up for us. We were about to have home court advantage. We were about to catch up to the Milwaukee Bucks, and even if we go on and win the championship next season, which he did say he's not saying that wouldn't happen, but still he believes very strongly that this season was the year for them. All the stars were finally aligning, and now personally I do agree with that. I do think that if the season would have continued out, and hopefully it does return, but regardless, if it would have just continued out the way that it was going, the Lakers would have won the championship. They would have had home court advantage. They would have caught up with the Bucks, but I don't really agree with him that maybe this season is the best chance they have, because personally for me, if you're looking at next season, you know, you're looking at hopefully LeBron James able to come back and use this time, regardless of whether the NBA returns or not, to stay healthy, still play at an extremely high level. Then we have AD, who's just going to be another year closer to his prime. Then we have hopefully maybe Kyle Kuzma could be able to, if the Lakers decide to bring him back. Kuz would be able to finally kind of step up, be that third scoring option, be able to have a little bit more time to kind of learn and adjust, playing alongside LeBron, AD, of course, be healthy as well. And then the Lakers would have been able to use the offseason to go out and address the weaknesses that we did see they had this season, because no matter what, no matter how great the Lakers were playing, they did have some weaknesses, you guys. The Lakers definitely needed to go out and they needed to get another playmaker, especially coming off the bench. They needed a few more scorers, especially shooting from the perimeter. And of course, they could have always used some extra wing defenders. So looking at next season, you know, if the Lakers are able to address those issues this offseason, then I don't see why any reason they wouldn't be just as good, if not better, next year. So yes, of course, very disappointing because this season had it played out, you know, normally I do believe the Lakers would have won the championship and they would have had home court advantage, but I definitely don't think that the Lakers have any less of a way to be able to do that again next season. If anything, I think they may even have a better shot next year, but maybe I'm just crazy. I'm just trying to stay positive here, you guys. But whether or not, the NBA is probably going to be making a return, so the Lakers are going to be able to make that title push and that championship run regardless. So I'm not even going to be too concerned about it. But that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Before you guys leave here today, I do want to remind you guys to please hit that subscribe button and come and join this Lakers Report family if you have not yet done so. We have awesome videos for you guys all year long. We're going to continue to provide you with all of the latest Lakers updates and breaking news stories here. So thank you guys once again for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a double thumbs up. And until next time, Laker Hand is out. Bye, guys.